What's going on, guys? It's another video here on Shogun FC, and today I'm taking you through my pick of the top 10 teams I'm looking forward to using in PES 2017. Let's go. Right then, at number 10 on my list is Spain. A very strong side, not massively physical as we know, but full of playmakers, talented footballers who know how to pass and dribble in equal proportions. They've got a pretty solid back line. They've got midfielders like Isco and Busquets who are very comfortable on the ball and know what they're doing. And all in all, a very, very technical side. That being said, they've also got a very, very good goalkeeper in David De Gea, backup options including Casillas, and the exception to the kind of less physical, more technical player, you've got Diego Costa in there, who offers that brutishness, that bullishness, and just that general ability to mix it up and play either as a target man or as a man running in behind. So Spain are definitely a team to watch and could well be sneaking their way in to a lot of people's tournament sides. At number 9, we've got another international side, and it's Belgium. Belgium are a side with a hell of a lot to offer. And all within the same starting 11. They're always a team that doesn't have an awful lot on the bench. That being said, players like Mireles might not start for everybody but can come on and cause trouble. That being said though, in the starting 11 there's a nice mix of technical ability and just pure physicality. Again, it will be a team that will probably end up operating as either 3 or 4 centre backs when it comes to using them in the game. I tend to use them with 3. And the fact that through balls and over the top through balls aren't as effective this time round means that their general lack of pace isn't going to be as much of a hindrance, and we can focus more on the fact that they've got a hell of a lot of defensive ability back there. Not only that, goalkeepers are, as we've talked about many times, they're massively improved, and Courtois is going to be an absolute problem to try and get past. And up top they've got plenty of technique and physicality in a mix. Benteke and Lukaku are going to be most people's front two with them. I can't see Origi being used as much this time round, just because pace isn't as important, and therefore he's going to have less of an impact when it comes to him having the ball at his feet and his general lack of amazing technical ability. That being said, the technique can come from the players like De Bruyne and Hazard, who I'm expecting to be a lot better this time round than he was last time. I found Hazard quite ineffective on PES 2016. Obviously on my club he was always on a negative because Chelsea were having a bad season. But this time round I'm expecting obviously Chelsea to play better, and not only that, but I feel like the way the game plays, Hazard, his dribbling ability and his crossing ability are going to come to the fore. In at number 8 we've got Manchester City, one of the favourites for the Premier League next season. When it comes to the Premier League, there aren't many teams with a stronger first 11 than Manchester City, if any. And this time around, there will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Me personally, I find them quite hit and miss on Pro Evolution. They've got a generally all-round, very strong starting 11, but only 1 or 2, maybe 3 actually standout players in terms of the way the game plays. This time round you're looking at Joe Hart, Yaya Toure and Sergio Aguero as the real standout players. This time round it could well be that a different set of players from Manchester City end up being the standout ones. In a physical game like PES 2016, Yaya Toure and Sergio Aguero's pace and power both really came to the forefront, as well as their technical ability as well. But it was a game about being quite brutish, getting forward as quickly as possible, and it doesn't really get much better than Yaya and Sergio Aguero in that aspect. This time round I'm expecting a different set of players to really take the fore. Aguero's always going to be very positive, as is Yaya, just because they can hold on to the ball well. They can do different things, they're good in the air and on the ground. But it'll be interesting to see how the likes of David Silva could well feature, and Kevin De Bruyne. So it's hit and miss. We never know whether they're going to be represented as well as they could be, but if they are, they could well end up rising up this list as the season goes on. But at the moment I've got them in at 8th place just because I'm not quite sure what to expect, but they're definitely going to be a team to watch. At number 7 we've got Brazil. Brazil are a team that not many people use, just because they've fallen from grace in recent years, and especially on PES 2016, they didn't have the personnel to really excel in this game. Neymar was obviously fantastic and was one of the best players in the game, but beyond that, there's not much going on for them in PES 2016. The defense is pretty strong, pretty nippy. They don't have an amazing goalkeeper, so other than that, they were pretty short for massively effective players. This time round, I've got no doubt that Brazil are going to be at least a little bit more than awkward. Neymar's going to be fantastic as always. His close control and dribbling is going to have him absolutely tearing people up. But this time I think as well, other players that are very good in close spaces as well as on the run. Players like Willian and Oscar, they're going to be really useful as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how well Coutinho is represented this time round. I quite enjoyed using him in my club. I'm not massively direct, so I really do enjoy using playmakers and that sort of thing. But overall, he wasn't massively effective because he'd either get bundled off the ball, or I would have to kind of avoid the centre of midfield, just because if I lost the ball, then I knew the ball was going straight back over the top of my defenders. So I didn't really quite get to use him to his full extent in PES 2016, at least online. But in PES 2017, there's going to be a lot more chance to use players like him. As I said in the last video, if you haven't watched it, I'll leave the link up on the screen now. Playmakers are going to be so important, so important, and the likes of Coutinho is going to have an absolute field day. In at number 6, we're talking about France. France have just lost in the Euro finals, and they were unlucky to do so. But that being said, they're still one of the best teams in Europe and world football, at least in terms of personnel. They've got a really, really great mix of physicality and technique, and a lot of their players have a mixture of both as well. And this time around, I'm really, really looking forward to using them. It remains to be seen whether Benzema and Ribery are going to get back into that squad. Who knows? But if they do, that's going to be even more crazy. But even their current roster, the likes of Pogba, Payet, Sissoko, they're going to be absolutely pivotal players in a game where you need to control the midfield, and also having the right sort of players when it comes to winning the ball back and also starting your own attacks. Those 3 players are going to be absolutely brilliant, alongside other players like Valbuena who will be able to be used as well if he's in the France squad. Who knows? As well, they've also got one of the best goalkeepers in Europe in Hugo Lloris. Their defence is strong, fast, good at tackling, and they've got quite a few ball players in there. I expect to see Aymeric Laporte, however you pronounce that. I expect to see him getting in around the France team over the next year or so. So having a centre-back partnership of him and Varane, and obviously the likes of Rami, Koscielny as well. You've got players there who can win the ball and pass quite well, all of them. In at number 5, we've got Barcelona. Barcelona again, I'll put them in the same category as Spain, but just a better version, really. And in that sense, there's not really much I can tell you that you don't already know. A lot of technical players, not a massive amount of physicality in that team, but they've got it where they need it, and there are players like Suarez and Busquets who can get stuck in and win the ball and, give other players around them a bit of a nightmare, leaving the players like Messi, like Ronaldo, leaving the players like Messi, like Neymar to really do what they do best. In at number 4, one of the teams I'm really, really looking forward to using is Arsenal. Again, I wouldn't say they're necessarily better than the teams that have come below them, but in terms of my pick, they're a team that I'm definitely really looking forward to using. Seeing early on just how effective Olivier Giroud is, as well as players like Sanchez, Cazorla, Ozil. I'm looking forward to seeing Granit Xhaka being used as an Arsenal player as well. El Neni feels really, really good in the game, and he's definitely due a stat increase as well. It's just going to be a very, very interesting team to use. The fact that they're licensed means that pretty much every player on the Arsenal team is going to have pretty accurate player ID, And in that sense, I'm really looking forward to Ozil feeling like Ozil, Cazorla feeling like Cazorla, and just being able to really play those midfield triangles. I think Arsenal are probably one really solid defender away from becoming a tournament team. It depends on how good Mertesacker actually is. I found him okay. I tended to use Gabriel a bit more, just for the added pace. But if Arsenal can sign a really good defender over the course of the summer, they could be a real force to be reckoned with on this game, considering you've got the likes of Bellerin, who's going to have a stat increase. Kieran Gibbs is always good on the game just purely because of his pace. Petr Cech is absolutely monstrous on PES 2017. And the midfielders like Wilshere, Ramsey, El Neni, Coquelin, Ozil, Cazorla, they're all fantastic. And Sanchez functions just as well as a winger as he does as a forward. So definitely a team to get stuck into. I'm going to be playing with them loads, and I can't wait. In at number 3, we've got Real Madrid. This time round, I'm expecting Real Madrid to be one of the favourites for people to use in the tournament. Last year it was almost exclusively Bayern Munich. I think Real Madrid are going to provide a bit more of a mix in there. With goalkeepers improving, Keylor Navas is going to be an absolute problem. I'm really looking forward to using him. And Real Madrid are going to be a great team to use if you use midfielders a lot. The likes of Toni Kroos, Modric is going to be phenomenal. I didn't really get to use him a hell of a lot this time round, but still one of my favourite players ever, despite the fact he played for Spurs. And those sorts of players are just going to be absolutely brilliant. Casemiro might even be good. But yeah, the likes of Modric, Isco, James Rodriguez, Toni Kroos, they're all going to be really interesting to use. There's so much passing ability in that team, so much dribbling ability as well. And then you go forward, you've got the likes of Bale, you've got Ronaldo. Benzema's always a problem on Pro Evo, as we know. And I think they're going to be an incredible team to use. In at number 2, it's probably the best international team in a long time. Didn't do as well at the Euros as we expected, but Germany are my number 2 pick. Germany are going to be incredible to use this time round. Manuel Neuer is a lot more intelligent this time. He's still got his player ID in there, so he's going to be running out. But the fact that goalkeepers are better, more agile, they've got a lot more animations, and the fact that they're not as easily exploitable, means there's going to be a lot more satisfaction in terms of the defensive side of the game. And having Neuer as that backup, he's going to be a real pain in the arse for anyone that comes up against him. That being said, Germany's strength isn't all in at the defensive area. Their midfield are so well balanced. People like Khedira, who are going to be good at winning the ball and knocking it about. Ozil, Kroos, Muller, those sorts of players are all going to be so useful. And they're players at the top of their game right now. And there's not much you can say in terms of weakness when you look at the Germany side. Definitely a tournament pick in my opinion. And in at number 1 is Bayern Munich. I'm sorry, no surprises there. For me, they're probably going to be the best team in the game again. And it's hard to argue against that, really. They've still got a lot of great players. Yes, they've lost Pep. They might lose a few players here and there, but for the most part, that's a very strong team. Any team with Neuer, Alaba, Boateng, Ribery, Robben, Lewandowski, Muller, Costa, you can't argue against that at all. And some of the less mobile midfielders, whether they're still going to be playing the first team and having such a big role, who knows, but they'll still be usable in this Bayern side. Last time round I used Bayern and I like players like Xabi Alonso, but the simple fact is that in terms of tournament play and online play, he was just too slow and too weak to really be an effective midfielder. That's not going to be as much of a problem this time round. His other strengths are going to come into play, and I don't think there's a single player that is there in and around that Bayern first team that isn't going to be an absolute monster in PES 2017, and they're going to be the best team to use. That being said, I don't think that there's as big a gap this time round in terms of Bayern and other teams such as Real Madrid, Barcelona, Germany. I think there'll be a greater variety in terms of tournament play, so we'll see a lot more teams, but Bayern are probably still going to dominate it. So yeah, that's my list of my top 10 picks of teams to use in PES 2017. But yeah, let me know what you think of the list, and also let me know what teams you're looking forward to using in PES 2017. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, share it around the community, and until next time, take care, peace.